Okay, let's start. So today we are going to look into few more things. So as of now we have done the high availability of name node and I think resource manager as well. Okay, not the resource manager. So we will do the high availability or resource manager. So we have done the high availability of name node, and we could see that there is a standby and active in both Cloudera and Hortonworks. Okay, so we will do for resource manager, and being and like we also need to do it for all the masters. Like most of the masters we have in our there is a master slave architecture, lots of master slave architecture over there. So we need to do the high availability of most of the masters. Okay, so some of them are not supported directly from out of the box, and we may need to do them. Okay, do their HA on our own, and there could be like different ways to do that. Okay, so some of them are like already we have done. So let's do the high availability of resource manager again. It is very small. Go to yarn on HTTP 2.5 and enable resource manager HA. Just click on it. You should plan a cluster maintenance window and prepare for the cluster down when enable. So I said yes. Do next. And select where you want your additional resource manager to be installed. Do next. And then these are all. So we have one more. So this 8088 is the port of currently active resource manager, and this is going to be the second resource manager. I mean, that is the standby one that will run on 8080 on HTTPS one. Okay, again it is going to be a Zookeeper ensemble is going to be used in order to have them the failover of resource managers. Like in case of name node, we had a Zookeeper and Zookeeper failover controller that will tell Zookeeper that which needs to be selected as to be the active name node. Here the same architecture will be used. So I'm saying next. So once it is done, it will stop required services, install additional resource manager, required yarn, reconfigure HDFS, because name node needs to know which are all the other running standard active by name node, and then restart all the services. Okay, so let it do on Cloudera side. So go to cluster manager. There is one health issue. Let me check what it is. Event server. So let me just start this. Now go to Cloudera manager and then select yarn. Go to instance. So in action, basically you can go enable high availability. The resource manager host, this is one that is currently there. So I am going to select one more host. So let me select CDHS1. Okay, where your RM going to be installed. So HDFS on RM is already installed over here. Okay, so one RM is going to be installed on CDHS1. This is going to be the standby one. So one RM is already there on CDHM2. So CDHS1 we are going to install the second one. Say OK, continue. So it will stop again, same, all the services, aid standby, resource manager, start yarn and dependent services, deploy client configuration, and that's it. Okay. So this is the HA of RM, resource manager. Okay, it's again yet simple thing. The other high availability you can do is for HBase master, Uzi server, Hive server 2. Then you can also set the high availability of Ambari server itself. Okay, so that though it is not needed, but again what you can do is you can do that. All you required is to there is a high availability proxy software that you need to install, and then do the load balancing among that. Okay, so basically when you talk about the high availability of other things, so we will see the Hive server 2 now. Okay, so we have seen the high availability of name node. Then we have done the high availability of resource manager. Okay, in Hive we can have high availability of Hive server 2. Then we can have the high availability of Metastore. Then we can have the high availability of database itself. Okay, Metastore DB or database which handle the Hive metadata. Okay, then we can have the high availability, so this is third point. Then we will do the high availability of HBase master. Okay, then we have high availability of Uzi server. Uzi server. Then we have the high availability of, in case of Ambari, it is Ambari server. Okay, we can have the high availability of Cloudera manager. Cloudera manager. Okay. So so most of them, like these this is like out of the box, you can do that. Even HBase master also, maybe if you let them do this. Go ahead.
Yeah. Last time we did high availability. So I saw in a book there was two techniques actually written over there: quorum-based storage and shared storage based using NFS something. So which technique that was?
No, sorry. Come again. What did you learn?
The high availability configuration using two techniques. By using two techniques, quorum-based storage and shared storage using an NFS. So which technique?
For name node?
Yeah, for name node. Yeah.
Yeah. So we say shared one. It's like kind of edit logs sharing between the two name node. Okay. So NFS is like network file system. It is not the recommended one. So whatever is getting supported out of the box by both Ambari and Cloudera Manager, we should use that only. The other one is quite manual, and basically you need to have a network file system mount somewhere on your Active Directory, and then there you need to take the backups and then recover it from there on the other one. So because the thing is, as soon as you end up one active name node, the standby will take within few seconds it will become active and it starts servicing the requests of client. Okay. So I think
in the book there is a lot of terms: general manager, general nodes, QAM. Yeah. So
yes.
that I was not able to understand. Yeah.
So journal manager, they're all coming under that's what actually we have seen as well. So we have seen Zookeeper failover controller. Then we do have journal nodes. Okay. So is it
Okay.
that what you're talking about, or you have seen some other architecture?
Same architecture. Yeah, Zookeeper is different, but for name node also there was journal node and journal manager.
Yeah, so that's what actually we have seen. So the architecture we have seen, it's like very very simple to understand. I mean, we have two things. One is how the failover is managed, and how the FS image and edit logs is managed. So edit logs is basically the read and write smaller files of on which like the both active name node writes the things, and the standby name node will read the things from there. So that share edits will be handled by the journal nodes. Okay. And the failover controller is handled by Zookeeper failover controller and the Zookeeper itself. I mean, Zookeeper architecture where the 3 Z nodes are there, and with the help of Zookeeper failover controller installed on each of the name node, active and standby name node machine, they will tell the status of how the name node is, right? Whether the name node is alive or it is still functioning or not. Okay, so that feedback is given by the Zookeeper failover controller to the Zookeeper architecture, and depending on that only it will select which is going to be the active name node. Okay, I think that's enough. To understand that how it goes. So now we have resource manager high availability. Let me just go here and. So concerning health, give it some time and it will automatically come up with all green. Okay, so by the time so the resource manager high availability is done on Cloudera side, it is still getting in process on Horton work side. So by then what we'll do is like we will understand what is the access control list. Okay, so this is again important part in terms of basically what happens is when you want to give certain access to certain users or certain groups, basically they may ask that okay, this particular user should not get the authority or should not get any kind of access on a particular directory, or some group of users or some users should have only the read permission on the directory or the files, whatever files inside that directory. Okay, or so that kind of thing. So basically as of now what we have seen is like suppose if I add a user, okay, so I will say sudo add user and I will say new user 1. Okay, so this is the user that I am adding. So this is the new user. This new user is getting added now, and it is a part of our system. Now this is local. This is a local Linux box on which we have created it. So it got created only on CDHM2. Okay, so there is no existence of this new user 1 on the other boxes. Okay, if you really want to have it created on all the boxes, it is not feasible, and it's not even recommended, because you should not do anything that why to create a user on thousands of machines, because in your Hadoop production cluster you may have thousands of machines. So better to have it integrated with the Active Directory or LDAP, and that we will see today how to install Active Directory, what is the meaning of Active Directory. We need to go through the basics of Kerberos, Open LDAP, that is lightweight 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 active directory protocol, LDAP. So we will see that. So basically, though I have added this new user, I created this new user only on this machine called CDHM2. It is, this new user one is not existing on CDHS1 and CDHS2. Okay, so once I add that, and let me make a directory sudo mkdir, and let's say this directory is, I will say new directory, new dir. If I do ll, basically I will find this new directory got created. Okay, and if you see, there is a default access to the root user and root group on this directory. So this D seems the directory, then read write X is for root, so owner is root, and since this Miman10 is a sudo user, he will, if that Miman10 is, since he's a sudo user, and he will have the access to the sudo command basically. Ultimately this Miman10 using sudo will also have this read write X. So I can delete this new dir since I have created it, but still it is showing that the root is the owner and root group is the group owner of this new directory. But Miman10 is having all the access to root since he is a sudoer, and Miman10 can do anything to this new dir. Okay, but then what about this new user one? Okay, how you see this new user when a new user one will have what kind of access to this new directory? So the new user one, since he is not the part of root or root group or any other group, because for new user one there is one more group created called new user one. Okay, so as soon as you add one new user to your Linux machine, the similar kind of group also gets created, or identical name, group name also get created. Okay, so for Miman10 there is a Miman10 group, there is a root and then root group. Okay, so this new user one will be considered as completely others. Okay, and that root new user one will have only the read and execute. Okay, so he does not have any like he cannot rename it, he cannot delete it, he cannot change it, he cannot do any kind of writing operation on it. Okay, whatever is required. Now suppose I want you to give new user one all the authority on this new dir. So one approach is to do chmod, right? Chmod, and let's put sudo in front of it. Sudo chmod, and I will 7 already is been there, 5, and I want this new user one, since he is others for this new directory. So I am giving others as 7 sevens. So I'm giving others as 7 permission. It means that all the others will have all the permission on this new directory. So I will do new dir. So if you do ll, basically you will find that this rwx is for new user. But then what's if like I have created one more user called new user 2, and I want the new user 1 to have some permission, but new user 2 it should be default. Okay, for new user 1 only I want this permission, that is all the permission on new directory, but for the new user 2 I don't want it. Okay, so this is the scenario. Okay, so you should not give all the default permission to everyone. Okay, depending on who they are, your business might ask you to give the permission as per it. Okay, but with this chmod you can set only one kind of permission, that's it, either 777, 757, 766, whatever, 700. Okay, and once you do that, it will be for all. Okay, there is no further you can say segregation on who will have what kind of access on this directory. Okay, so for doing that, okay, let me just revert this to 755. Okay, and I want this read write X would be default for other users, but I want specifically for this new user 1 to have all the authority on this new dir. Then what is the approach? So that for that we have ACLs called access control list. Access control list. Okay, so this is the mechanism, this is the utility, this is the way through which you can tell that on which directory which user will have what kind of on which directory, which file, which user or which group will have what kind of authorities. Okay, so there are two commands related to that. One is called set facl. Okay, so set file access control list, and get file access control list. So there is one command set facl, and then another one is get facl. Okay, and these are similarly working on your HDFS as well. Okay, so on the Hadoop distributed file system, you also use the same one, and with the same syntax, you can also set on different directories what kind of permissions or things will be given to which so will be given to whichever user or whichever group. Okay, so let's start so I will just show you one example. So I will give all the access to the new user one on the directory called newder over here, right? So how to do that? So do sudo, since it requires sudo access, since we are not root, we are mimicking it. So sudo, I will just set facl. Now there is a syntax associated. So if I say sudo and if I don't give anything, it will tell you that what you can do. So I am -m means modify, -x means remove. Okay, and then you can provide the name of file or directory, and it will apart from. So if I say -m and press enter, then, or you can just put help in front of it. So it will tell you modify. So modify the current ACLs of files. Okay, then remove, x means remove the current ACLs of file. Okay, but then they did not provide the exit syntax, so you can also do mn on set facl, and here you may find some example. Okay, so examples are here. So set facl -m, then u means for user, so you can write user, then the name of the user, and then what kind of permission you want for that user. Okay, so set facl, and -m means modify the ACL on that particular file or directory. U means user, so either you can write u or completely write user, user, both will work. Then the name of the user for which you want to modify the ACL, and what permission you want that user to have on that file or directory. Okay, then revoking write access from all the groups and all the names. So these are like some example that you can just do on it. Then if you want to remove, just remove everything. Okay, or you can just remove whatever access you want out of it. Okay, so let me do that. So I do have newder. I want to give, so I will say sudo set facl and modify, and I am giving user. I want to do it for user. The name of user is new user one. Okay, and I want have all the permission for him. So read, write, execute. Okay, so RWX I'm trying to give on newder. Okay, so this is how only the new user one will have all the authority on new directory, but the rest others still have this default access to it. Okay, so let me just do it on. So it is successful. Now if you want to get that how many how this looks like, so say sudo get facl. Okay, and then just put the name of directory, and you will get that this file, the owner is root, group is root, the user is having read write x, who is this one user, this. So you will get all the list of users who will have different permissions on this directory. So you will get all the list one after the other. For each user you have granted some different set of permissions on this directory. Okay, then group mask this one. Now suppose if I want to change this to read and execute only, so either I will remove it. As soon as I remove this SCL for this new user will put into the default one, and it will get this kind of this default access only. Okay, so how to just remove it? Just do -x. Okay, and just remove whatever you want. So I don't want to have any so I'm just removing it. So this new user will automatically get this access, right? If you now get the get facl, this new user line got removed from here. Okay, or you want this particular user to have only the read access. Okay, don't even execute or whatever, so it's like default. So so that I can give, right? If I want to modify again and I want to give read and execute, that is default one, that also you can modify like this. Okay, so this is for user. Okay, now same thing, we know that this new user one is also a group. Okay, since as soon as we create a user, its same name group also gets created. So I will just say G or GROUP. You can use anything. So now this group also gets some permission on it. So now if you do get official on it, so you will find that user is having this permission and the group new user one is having this permission, because in this group new user one there would be more users could be the part of this new user one group. Okay, so they all will. So as soon as you bring more users to this group called new user one, all those users will get the default access of this. You're getting me? So this is how you can manage the the access basically on the different directories and files depending on whatever is business asking you. But then suppose if there could be plenty of users, okay, so most of the times what you will feel is that okay, developer should not have the access to this directory or file, or administrator should not have access to that file and directory. You can create two group and then identify that which are all the users should have the identical authority on different sets of files and directories. Then you can put them in the group and then assign ACL to the groups and then follow it. Okay, so you can create your own rules as per what business will provide you, that this user should, or this group of users should not have any access to this file or directory, that group should not have any access to that. So even if so users are under your control, groups are under your control, all the directories and everything is are under your control, then you can assign whatever you want for different. So being a new user, if I log into the system and then I know that only I do have read and write, so I cannot do anything with this new directory. Okay, no one should have any authority. Okay, they can just read it, but they should not able to modify it. If it is very important directory, it is very critical directory, then you should not even allow the read access. But I mean, it depends. Okay, I can completely withdraw all the authority to this new directory from this new user one. Okay, so I don't give any authority to it. That also is possible. Okay, so set FACL, get FACL, very important command, and it will allow you to granular your control on the different set of files and directories for different users and groups. Okay, and similarly, it will as it is applicable on HDFS, you just need to put HDFS in front of it. Hadoop FS minus HDFS, sorry, Hadoop FS minus LS, or Hadoop FS minus set FACL, Hadoop FS minus get FACL, Hadoop FS minus set FACL, and then just follow the syntax. It will be workable directly on HDFS. Okay, so we will see that now. We do a Hadoop. I think by now we have all the services restarted. Yes. So let me complete it. Anyways, we are doing it on green screen, that is CDH. Okay, so Hadoop. Okay, so let me do it over here. So what I will do is, I know I need to log in with HDFS. So sudo Hadoop fs minus ls, first check how many directories are there. We can create one similar directory. Let's say this wow is already there, so let's do some ACLs on it. So I will say Hadoop fs minus set facl. Okay, and then do m modify the name of user. So I will use new user one. Sorry, user. The name of new user is new user one. And then I want to have only all the permission for it. Read write X for wow. Okay, so it says that the ACL operation has been rejected. Support for ACLs has been disabled by setting DFS. This is generally set to default. I mean, there is a property that we need to make it on so that this ACL things will be applicable on your HDFS. By default, it is off. Why? Because most of the times when you install the HDFS cluster, okay, there used to be on Hortonworks side, it will be a ranger, and on Cloudera side there will be like kind of entity that will manage the authority of individual users and groups from the front end, okay, not from the back end. Okay, prior to that, the ACL was like on view. So basically, you just need to on it. Okay, you need to search this property and make it true, and then you can do the things. So let me do it on Hortonworks site. Let me just try to check if it is switch user HDFS. Hadoop FS minus ls. So I will say add user cannot be said. Add user sudo add user new user one HDFS Hadoop FS minus set facl, then modify user new user one rwx, that is the things, and wow. So I think there would be similar message over here as well, I think, because by default it is off. So support fire SEL. So just get this property in HDFS site XML. DFS name node ACL enabled. So search it on HDFS side. Config. Okay, so the property is not listed, so we just need to edit, and in custom HDFS site XML, custom HDFS site, go there and add a new property. Name it DFS name node ACLs enabled equals to TRUE true. Add it. Okay, save it. ACLs enabled. So once you add that, you need to restart all the required services. So go on services, go to dashboard, restart all required. Okay, so HDFS is restarted. Now you can just do hadoop set FSL and do this, and let's see if it is done. So FSL has been disabled. Oh sorry, we made it true. Actually we had to make it false. Actually that's what it has been disabled by setting. Support ACL has been disabled. So rejected. Support for ACLs has been disabled by setting. Okay, false. We need to set it false. Okay, we have set it to true. So let me do it again. So I'm making it false.